All Things Nerd, Season 3, Episode 20. On tonight's cast, we are talking about our final Game of Thrones theories for the finale this week. There are no write-ins. There are no. We're not asking them to change anything. We're just giving our theories of what we think is going to happen. We're also going to be talking about some trailer reactions of one show looking to replace Game of Thrones, His Dark Materials, as well as the new Broken Mirror. What? Black Mirror trailer.
Black Mirror.
Close.
and lastly, we have somebody's got to talk about it, and we're going to talk about a sparkly Batman. So thank you guys for coming and joining us here live on twitch.tv/Malice Corp for the All Things Nerd live podcast. Now, here's the intro. Hello to all the Geek Enthusiast, Nerd Aficionados. This is Mest5150 here with another All Things Nerd podcast. This is Season 3, Episode 20. We are back again. It is another Friday, which means another live recording on twitch.tv/Malice Corp. Join us every Friday, 8 p.m. Pacific Standard Time to be a part of the show. Otherwise, you can check it out at malice-corp.com. You can see that written below. Or YouTube, Stitcher, and Google, and iTunes. Let's talk about who's here on the cast. You got me, Mess5150, your host. Along with me right now, we also have IC Zoro on the cast. How are you, sir?
I'm great. I'm looking forward to those audio issues being resolved so I can figure out what the heck I said last Sunday.
You can actually see it on YouTube once it gets posted. But.
Wait. Honestly, I don't even know if we understood what you said. But anyways, moving on.
I should be able to interpret myself, I hope.
No.
You also have Masonic Vader here on the cast right now. How goes it, sir?
You know what? From drunkenness, slurringness, or whatever you want to call it, to sparkly Batman, I am nerded up and ready to go.
We've got back on the cast again. Guess who's back? Back again.
Back again.
I guess we're supposed to call him Raider now. Raider's back because that's what Masonic Vader wanted to coin you as when he took over the cast.
Yeah, let's do it.
Raider's on the cast. How goes it, Raider?
That
feels weird. Nick's on the cast. Sorry, I can't do it.
It is hard when you're a Charger fan too that you're calling someone Raider, but you know it's a good Raider.
Hey, do not try and stick me in that fold. I am definitely not a Chargers fan. Sorry, Nick. Go ahead.
It's the weekend, guys. It's the weekend.
How you been?
I can't be happier to be on the cast and enjoy this weekend that's coming up. So hopefully it doesn't go by too fast.
Nice. We also have Super Hoovy and Freak on the cast. So Super, how you been? How are things?
Hey. System issues kicked me out, and I had to redo everything. So running a little bit behind, but we're all good.
That's fine. We're good here. Okay, so we like to start out this cast with what everybody's been geeking out on. What the Geek Out is talking about what we've been doing for the last week since you guys last saw us, or if you haven't seen us for a few weeks because we've not been on cast, the type of things that we've been up to. We want to know what you've been up to, what things we should be checking out. This is just a factor of doing the, hey, here's some cool stuff, look it up, check it out, whatnot. My Geek Out is kind of one that I have the really lame and weird and the really disturbing as well, mixed together. The lame and weird is I finished one major binge with Supernatural, so I'm moving on to my next major binge, which will be the Arrowverse, and it's said to start the Arrowverse binge with the Flash from the 1990s, which nostalgia is great, but boy, it is it's just realizing how cheesy something is once you go back to it.
And I still don't understand he was able to run so fast in that big old bulky suit.
It's all foam. Of course you can run that fast.
Is it the same guy that plays Barry's dad?
Yeah.
Now?
Yes.
Yeah, but I know the reason why, because I've watched some of Arrowverse before. I just didn't watch all of it. I watched into the second season of Flash. The reason that they're going to say to start with the Flash is because of the Mark Hamill's because he plays the same character in the new version as well as the old version. So when you see the old footage of him as that character, that's from the Flash of the 1990s. So
I did not.
And
know
I do
that.
believe that was the first major casting, like on camera or something, since Star Wars that he had. I think that was like monumental for Mark Hamill at that time.
yeah, well, I mean, he had been doing that video game for a while too, the Starfighter or something. I can't remember what it was anymore.
Yeah.
But Bearded Master says finally finished Gotham, which that was another thing that I did. I finished Gotham, and I don't know. I liked it, but I don't know. I didn't like that they for the time jump that they recast Catwoman for it. I just that kind of bugged me. So, and they CGI'd Bruce. So, but my disturbing has been one that has been being pushed on me for a while, is from a friend saying, watch this. Have you watched it yet? So I started watching it last night and just decided to binge majority of it today. I've episode and a half left of it. Mindhunter on Netflix. That is actually really good. It's based off of a book written by 2 FBI agents that this was that actually wrote the book Mindhunter, and it's the guys that were figuring out how serial killers think and actually created the whole thing about serial killers. So disturbing as all heck. There's a lot of stuff because they have the characters of Richard Speck and real serial killer characters in there, and they use actual dialogue from the interviews from these guys in there. So there's some disturbing stuff, but it's a good show. It's actually it's great acting, and they're renewed for a second season. Hey, Netflix renewed something. So I see. What have you been up to? Or what's your geek out been?
Yeah, I've been through a couple of things. I watched all of Dead to Me. That was an amazing show. Christina Applegate and Linda Cardellini, amazing actresses, and that show's got some weird, fun twists to it. Just recently, like as of today, started watching season 2 of Cobra Kai, and a ton of World of Warcraft. I had a lot of free time recently, so leveling up was pretty quick.
Yeah, sorry.
I can talk more if you want to finish.
No, I was eating French fries. In the chat room, we have Polyfuse went and saw John Wick 3 last night. All he's saying, so he's not going to spoil anything for anybody. Ruru2
I'm guessing he kills a lot of people.
Ruru2 says there's a Batman Hush animated movie trailer, which I got to check that out because Hush is one of my favorite stories. And Masonic, you said that you heard there's a Batman
he's making the
versus werewolf coming out. So,
Sparkles.
yeah.
Oh God, that's Drew making a joke about that. So I was gonna be like, there actually is a Batman Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles crossover coming out animated. So
There is.
But yeah, Masonic, what have you been geeking out on?
Oh man, definitely not sparkly Batman. I have been geeking out this week. We were talking about this last week about how getting into the old series and trying to show my son all the stuff that I watch that I could really truly appreciate. Really good at cartoon storyboards and whatnot. So on Wednesday, I received a package using the Amazon link on Malice Corp. Yes, sir. 52. Yeah. The complete series of season 1 of G.I. Joe. And we have gone through the the Weather Dominator, the first 6 episodes and everything. And I'm showing it with my kid. And oh man, nostalgia big time. Also looking forward to John Wick. Thank you for not spoiling anything. And I'm ready to have a coherent conversation tonight.
So wait a minute, you've been watching so much G.I. Joe that we need one thing from you. We need your best impression of Cobra Commander being beaten. Come on.
Okay, hold on a second. I can do Skeletor. Come on.
I thought you were going to ask for a Go Joe.
No. I want to make it fun because you know that crazy voice that Cobra Commander has. You got to
G.I. Joe cuss. see you, G.I. Joe. God, that's like
And
Sorry,
that is
sorry.
why I asked for that over a Yo-Jo. Yo-Jo's easy.
That was pretty solid.
Oh, so good job. Nick, what have you been geeking out on?
Let's see. I am trying to finish up Assassin's Creed. It's just a never-ending game.
Which one?
And
Odyssey or Origins?
It's Origins. Like I took like a 2-week hiatus from playing video games. I was just busy with other things, and I think I'm getting towards the end. It seems like
Odyssey's even bigger.
most of the. Yeah, I think I've beaten pretty much every single person you can beat, and it's just a matter of just finishing off all the side quests. And then I watched Black Klansman. I watched that like last week. Very well done film. Really enjoyed it. And that's pretty much it. Besides the epic show that's going on right now, where it's going to be last episode on Sunday.
Well, we'll get into that. Well, wait. That's our first topic.
Yeah.
Super. What have you been geeking out on? I know we brought the geek out for you specifically so you could drop about this show that ended, that had been on the air for like 12 years and made people laugh and stuff. So, what's your geek out?
Apparently, yeah. So, last night was the series finale for The Big Bang Theory. I spent most of my day off yesterday just rewatching the last season, season 12, and they did a 1-hour season finale. Or series finale, excuse me, and it was good. It was, a very solid episode, a good wrap up. They did an aftercast with Johnny Galecki and Kaylee Cuoco as they kind of like took them around the set. They talked about like their favorite memories, their favorite episodes, guest stars, and just seeing like all the people that have been on the show, from like Mark Hamill this season, Bob Newhart, William Shatner, Leonard Nimoy, and Stephen Hawking, two people that have now unfortunately passed on. Just seeing the people that they've gotten to interact with, it was really just, you forgot like the level of talent and quality that show had.
I was looking for this, and I don't know if I've shown you this to you guys before or not, but I had to dance for this. So this was actually at a taping, and it's the entire cast signing of the, I think it was for season 4, and I had to do the hammer dance to get people to cheer so that I won this. So this was actually at
That's
it.
awesome.
So,
Have that recorded. Can we find that on YouTube?
oh no, it's not recorded. I have no problem making a fool of myself. You guys should have learned this by now. So
Well, let's see the hammer dance. Let's go.
I don't have enough space here. You're just gonna have to come to a live recording taping somewhere, like a Comic-Con or something, and we'll I'll do a hammer dance for everybody there. So yeah, that's it.
We're gonna hold you to that.
That's fine. I have no problem. Doesn't mean it's a good hammer dance, but I'll
It shouldn't be.
I can do the chair hammer dance. Look at we can do it this way.
That was impressive.
See, I'm doing it. Okay, let's move on to our next big thing. Yeah, so we're not going straight into nerd news yet because this is something that's been going on for a while. It's not exactly a nerd news headline. This is final thoughts, hot takes, nerd takes, geek takes. Give us send us out on Twitter at All Nerd Podcast or at Malice Corp or at any one of these people, and tell us what's a good name for a all things nerd hot take segment that we can start adding to the show every once in a while. Working name is either Nerd Takes or Geek Takes, but this is going to be our final theories for what's happening on the finale of Game of Thrones this Sunday. Who's going to be on the throne, who's dying, what's going to happen. We haven't had Nick here with us, and I wanted to get his thoughts on Game of Thrones because we've been doing a live recording of it every Sunday talking about it, but Nick hasn't been able to join us. So, Nick,
Since I haven't got to really do this chat with y'all about Game of Thrones, and I'm such a huge Game of Thrones nerd, I just want to say, for one thing, it's still, I think, the best show that I've ever seen for me. But this season has been a little bit disappointing, but I still love it, and I don't know why people are just so judgmental. I guess when it's a show that's so good and it's delivered for so long that you want it to end in a certain way, and I understand that. But moving on, I really think Bran has a major part to play. He kind of warged out during the Battle of Winterfell to where he was just in the crows watching the battle, didn't really do anything, and then came back and was like, "Thank you, Theon." So I really think how Daenerys is going to go. Daenerys is going to die. I've been saying this since the last season wrapped up, season 7. I predicted that she's going to go out at some point, and it's very evident now that it looks like she's going to go out. And I really think Bran's going to play a role in that, and I'm thinking that he's going to warg into Drogon. And since Daenerys is immune to fire, I think that he's going to have Drogon eat her, and somehow going off like a champ, doing something to where he ends Drogon, but at the same time, it probably will kill him as well since he's warged into it. So I'm thinking, because Drogon, a dragon like that, is just way too powerful to be in Westeros. It's already destroyed King's Landing, so you would think that Bran has something to do with Drogon's death as well. That's how I think it's going to end. And Jon Snow will probably sit on the throne. And my second one would be Tyrion.
Okay. Anybody else have thoughts?
Well, I was about to say, I could kind of see where people are kind of upset about this season. Being like, like we've talked about this before, I binged all this in a very, quick manner of 2 weeks and got it all stuck in my head. But this season just seems like, it's like they're saying, all right, last season, let's just get it done and be over with, kind of thing. It seems like some of their production values kind of dropped a little bit. Let's talk about the coffee cup out of nowhere. You know what I'm saying? It's just the small things where the first 7 seasons, you didn't have any of those issues. Everything was spot on and tight and solid, and you had no issues whatsoever. Even the episodes where it was more like the first season or so where I complained, oh my God, I don't know if I'm going to get through this because it's all political and stuff. Those episodes were actually all right when you go back and watch it again. So I get why people are getting frustrated with this season, because it just kind of seems like they're in the, hey, shoot, I'm out in 2 weeks. Peace out. What are you going to do? Fire me?
It's like this show has senioritis.
Yeah. But as far as, go ahead.
I got it. Okay. So here's my thing about this whole complaining about this season. Tough titties. And we haven't seen any this season either, so no, I'm kidding.
Yeah,
but honestly,
that first episode,
something doesn't go the way that you want it to end because you've spent so much time watching it, and it doesn't go the way, and you weren't expecting it, and you name your children after a certain character, and now she's gone psychotic, and now you're pissed. Too bad.
Dumbass.
It's somebody else's story. They're allowed to tell it and finish it however they want to. If you don't like it, you can't do a stupid petition to tell somebody to go remake a series, a season. It's not going to happen.
Yeah.
It's too much money. The people felt they did a good product. It's still a good product. Nobody gets the endings that they always want. It's great when you do. But if you got the ending that you want, it doesn't mean the other person gets the ending that they want. So it's
agreed.
It's frustrating. It's frustrating that so many people are complaining, but it's just because it's the biggest show on television.
Yeah, and
and how many of those people
at a high level? It's been at such a high level for so long. It's been such quality writing, such unexpected twists, such really good character development over time. Mm-hmm. I get why people feel betrayed when they feel like, oh, well, all that time that I put on this character or that character, kind of feels wasted at this point. But to be fair, in the very first season, they killed the main character in episode 9. So you should have coming too.
Well, let's go another route with all these complaints. So when did they run out of source material? When John died, right? Was okay. So
which is the last thing from the source
I
material.
remember the next season right after that, people were talking about, oh my God, this is so great. They're getting through the story so quick. They're hitting it. We're not waiting forever to get something. Like they started, like everybody was praising how great it was now that it was finally moving at a pace. And now everybody's complaining because they're not good writers. That since they haven't had story material from George R.R. Martin, it's been terrible writing since. Well, I just remember you 2 years ago talking about how great it finally was. So now, okay, people, you got to make up your minds. And two, don't put this all on D&D. Don't put on DB Weiss and Benioff, because George R. R. Martin's still giving them a template. He's still going, this is who ends up on the Iron Throne. This is how,
he plotted it out.
They're just plotting it out how it gets there, but he's told them a template of what things kind of happen. So
and Benioff and Weiss have been saying, this is going to be a bittersweet ending to the series. So we're not expecting everyone to be happy. I just want them to have earned what they did in the last couple episodes. There's a way to make it bittersweet and still super quality writing. You were talking a little bit about how with the article we read had all the references back to earlier seasons and stuff. I want to know if and how they're ever going to tie up the Azor Ahai storyline, because we still know who the prince that is promised is supposed to be.
I don't think they're going to. I think that was one that just ended up dropping by the wayside. But
because
the
actual prophecy refers to when they're fighting the undead, and that's already over.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I want to bring up some of the stuff said in the chat room. Ruru2 says Jon Snow will argue with Dany. She will order the dragon to burn him. Arya will shoot Dany with an arrow. Jon will be immune to dragon fire. He lives. And then Polyfuse took them 2 years to make this season, and you know how much film they have to go through. So yeah, there's not going to redo it. And then Red Meepaw says the big thing with them is that they fall in love with the characters and don't care about how the story is supposed to go. So
they want everyone to live. Is that what she's saying?
I don't know. Final scene of GOT. And Rutu has the best one. The final scene of Game of Thrones will be Patrick Duffy waking up from a fever dream and taking a shower.
Yeah, exactly.
On the set of Step by Step?
Yeah.
I will say I was kind of bummed that they took out the dead just so quickly. I thought this last season
everybody was.
I thought this season was going to go for at least 2 or 3 episodes of a big ass battle.
Exactly. And everybody's bummed because they took out the dead so quickly and the Night King so quickly, and then they're like, okay, well, you know what? Hey, it's Game of Thrones. Like you said it yourself, IC Zoro. I said I was all pissed that they took him out so quick, and you're like, what is it called? Game of Thrones. Cersei's the big one to deal with. So, okay, so the next 2 episodes are going to be finishing off Cersei. Oh, no, hey, okay, so Cersei's gone. Okay, now we got a battle that we haven't been setting up except for these last 3 episodes. Okay, cool. That's where people are mad.
Yeah, that's a legit complaint, It's I can understand why people are frustrated with that.
They're frustrated because there was they don't like the character development on the fight.
I keep going to the John Malkovich quote from Rounders when he loses the hand or whatever. He goes, "I feel so unsatisfied."
Yeah, I would have brought this up in the last cast, but I wasn't able to connect to the chat room. But my biggest disappointment this season, and for the last couple seasons, has just been what they did with Barry's character, or what they didn't do. You have this mastermind that was plotted out with George R.R. Martin. And I think this is where people get frustrated with the writers. It's like they ran out of the material with him, and even if they had a template, they didn't know how to use his character. I was so irritated when Varys was walking away from Tyrion or Jon Snow. I think it was Jon Snow, and you heard his footsteps. That guy is supposed to, be one of the sneakiest guys in the Seven Kingdoms. You don't hear him coming. So the fact that I could hear his footsteps walking away when in the earlier seasons, again, and that goes back to the production, the nitpicky details that we had from seasons 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, that was missing, because you never used to hear Varys walking before, and you actually heard him. And I know it's a little detail, but it's just like, come on, like, this is the spider, this is the, so irritated.
It'd be the best way to end the series and piss everybody off. They do 3 minutes of their intro. You're trying to figure out what they changed in the intro, because that's what we've been talking about all season. And I laugh because those intros are so freaking long to begin with. And then black screen, hear a little bit of music, and then there's someone sitting on the Iron Throne, and then they roll credits. That's it. That's how it ends right there. That will piss everybody off, and you won't even see their face.
It's 3 minutes of the intro, and then you see Tony Soprano ordering onion rings.
That would be funny.
Okay.
I have dragon steak here.
So on the callbacks that happened, one of them was about who Arya will, eyes that she'll kill and everything, and so everybody thought Cersei because she said green eyes, and we all forgot that Dany has green eyes. So does that pretty much is Arya killing? I mean, she's done with the revenge thing, kind of, because the Hound talked her out of it. So who's killing Dany? Is it going to be Arya, or is it going to be?
It's going to be Arya.
I think it's going to be Tyrion.
Arya's already killed the Night King. It would just be too much.
That's what I think
too.
too.
Killed Dany too.
I think it's going to be Tyrion.
Okay. I think Tyrion will be Targaryen killer.
I still think it's
have to do it.
I still think it's going to be Arya. She still has to fulfill all of the 3 eye colors that Melisandre told her, and at that,
I really don't think that's important.
She doesn't want to be a lady. She lives the assassin life. I think she's going to do that, go down in history as the greatest assassin of all time, and then just kind of disappear off into SS somewhere.
Yeah, I could see it.
Assassin's Creed, the Aryan Chronicles.
Yes.
Well, yeah. So I mean, so we're all different hot takes here. We have between Jon Snow and Dany for the Super. I haven't gotten to talk to you that since she's gone off the deep end. Is she still ending up on the Iron Throne, or who are you changing your pick to on the Iron Throne?
Well, it's going to go 2 ways. I think she's either going to kill everyone and end up on the Iron Throne. She's going to take out Jon and Tyrion,
the Queen of Ashes.
And yeah, because I think Tyrion, and then she ends up on the Iron Throne. But the bittersweet is she literally had to kill and walk over 1,000 corpses to get there. Or
that's just bitter. I don't say that's bittersweet.
No, that's bitter. But I think Tyrion could take her out and basically force Jon into the position of taking the Iron Throne if Dany doesn't kill him, because he could easily take over, too.
Yeah.
And we still have to account for the vision that she had in season 2 at the House of the Undying, of the open throne room, and what we all assumed was snow falling in there. It might be Ash.
Yeah. So I'm going to tell you.
It's definitely Ash.
I'm going to tell you right now. For some reason, this big old thing that they have, everybody signing petition-wise. From now on, you get a show this big that's coming to its final season. Let's take a page. This will be kind of a segue into our nerd news, but let's take a page from Netflix, and we'll just do a choose your own adventure, so everybody can make the finale the way that they want it to be. So you don't have everybody.
I thought you were going to say cancel it before it comes to satisfying.
No. I'm going the Bandersnatch route, where they should just,
Hey, you know what? I am down with people starting a petition and signing it and stuff. That's cool. Just as long as the person that signs the petition has the money to back it up if it actually goes.
Well, of course, these people signing don't have the money. They want the production companies to do it.
That's what I'm saying. If you have the money and you want to rewrite the show, get a petition going, get it all signed, put your money in and rewrite season 8. Go for it. It's all your thing. If you don't have the money, shut the F up and live on.
They can do what they want. They don't. It's not going to be refilmed. Just go make your fan fiction. Get it out there, and make everybody happy that it goes the way that they want to, and then you guys can vote on what was the better story. So
yeah, I'm sure there's entire subreddits dedicated to that. Go for it.
They could also. I could also suggest, because I have a 9-year-old, that they could take from Captain Underpants and do Flip-A-Rama. That'll work.
So wait, Polyfew says
work.
Polyfew says he just saw on Facebook Game of Thrones writers petition fans to write their own damn show if they're so smart.
Yes. Game of Thrones Flip-A-Rama.
But as I was doing a segue before, let's go into nerd news.
It's gonna be edited, but it sounds cool.
It's gonna be edited. Yeah. Okay. So nerd news. Nerd news is the topics that are going on in nerd, geek, and pop culture. This week we got into some trailer reactions, and like I said, talking about choose your own adventure. This one won't be a choose your own adventure, but we got the trailer for season 5 of Black Mirror. It's only 3 episodes. It comes out June 5th. and it's interesting. It's to say the least. As we always like to start with our trailers, Super has so much great takes on what's going on, and she absolutely knows what's going on in this trailer. So, Super, did you watch the Black Mirror trailer?
I did, and if I get Miley Cyrus twerking in Black Mirror season 5, I quit Netflix. I quit you.
Oh, I will sign up for a lifetime subscription.
Like, my brain just like short circuited. I was like, no, that wasn't Miley Cyrus, and I'm like, oh, it was. It was. It looked creepy though, like that little doll.
Was it actually her?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It is.
Wow.
Falcon's in there
It's
too.
her and Falcon. And did I see Tobey Maguire?
Yep. No, not Tobey Maguire. Topher Grace.
Topher Grace.
Topher Grace. Yeah.
Topher Grace.
So you have Topher
Him
Grace
I'm
in there.
excited about.
You've got Miley Cyrus is in an episode. You've got Anthony Mackie, the Falcon. You've got the bad guy from Sherlock that he was in the car. Moriarty, yeah. He was the guy sitting in the car with the police behind him. So it's a lot of really good cast for only 3 episodes. Only 3 episodes.
That's a lot of star power for 3 episodes.
Yeah.
I don't know how I'm gonna be able to binge that. That's a lot of freaking episodes.
That's Andrew Scott with Moriarty.
I'm that doll that's what sticks out at me from that trailer. That doll that they kept focusing on.
Mm-hmm.
The little, I don't know if it was a bobblehead or what, but that is what sticks out in my mind for that trailer because that was a little bit creepy.
What else did you guys think on the trailer? Any story? Did you see any stories that jumped out to you that you like? Okay, this looks like a story about this. I mean, we definitely have. Go ahead.
The Anthony Mackie one looks like digital cheating or in the age of Tinder or something.
That's what
like
I was
that.
thinking. Yeah.
I was thinking more of like Total Recall.
Okay.
I mean, because to me, I see where they were talking about the no, don't show it when his girlfriend's coming in, blah blah blah. But then if you get a couple snippets, it looks like they're putting them in a machine. So they got Total Recall Cheating Edition or something.
Was he going in a machine? It looked like he was like taking something to put on his eyes or something.
There was definitely something where they like body scanned him.
Yeah. Okay.
Interesting. Did anyone else get from those girls in the white with the hair that were kind of like dancing? It almost kind of felt like a Sucker Punch vibe, a little bit.
It had that vibe. But then we also had her doing like Mortal Kombat type stuff. She's talking about she has no friends and the doll is giving her encouragement. I think that she's going into a virtual world to live out her fantasies and stuff.
Yeah.
If Miley Cyrus starts going Mortal Kombat, I am not going to watch that show.
No, so
you have all lost your mind.
Okay,
Yes.
So it comes out June 5th. Like I said, it's 3 episodes. Let me switch over here really quick. And
Seriously, 3 episodes, that's a lot. That is a lot. I can't get through that. It's going to take me weeks.
We have Striking
if not
Vipers.
months.
We have Striking Vipers is 1 episode with Mackie and Abdul Mateen's characters. And that one sounds really interesting. So do you guys want me to give away like I'm not going to give the story away because they're not going to release that, but like what the episodes are about, or you just want to wait for them?
Well, it's okay. If you're reading it right now, I'm sure if we get done here, I could go online and read it right now. So why don't you go ahead and read it?
But I'm giving everybody on the cast. I don't. Some people like to wait for to experience the episode for themselves.
Nope, I'm good.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So we've got Striking Vipers, which is going to follow Mackie and Abdul Mateen's characters as they dive deeper into different RPG-driven worlds, including a Street Fighter-like game, which you saw on the episode. So that's one of the episodes. You've also got Smithereens, which follows. It was teased.
Moriarty.
Yeah, Smithereens was teased in Bandersnatch. You saw a little thing for it in one of the clips. But it follows Scott, who plays a man poised to commit a horrific crime after being driven to the edge by society's obsession with screens and one site in particular, Smithereen. And then the final episode is Untitled. And
Wrecking Ball.
follows a teenager who, as she puts it, has no friends. She seeks out friendship from a doll-like android modeled off a wildly famous pop star. That's both voiced and played by Miley Cyrus. So she's voicing the robot as well. looking for a way to
Okay.
connect more with her fans. So
Didn't Joaquin
Interesting.
Phoenix do was it Her?
Yes.
Yeah, there you go.
It was Scarlett Johansson doing that voice. That was nice.
Ruru2
yeah.
says he thinks the lonely high school girl is becoming Miley Cyrus, is what's going to be
I think we already had that show.
the weird twist on it. So, I don't know.
Hannah Montana reverse.
Yeah.
All I know is that Robin Thicke's white lines has to be in there somewhere.
Blurred
Blurred
lines.
lines.
you mean?
Blurred lines, yeah.
Blurred lines. That's
Wrong decade, buddy.
Which he totally stole from Marvin Gaye.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yes. So, other trailer that we got, which was a big surprise to me. And I absolutely loved it because I wanted to see more from this movie franchise because it was supposed to be a huge tentpole. It was supposed to take over for Lord of the Rings, and it got
Oh,
big.
so I was right. It has that vibe for the reason that I'm thinking. Then.
Yes.
Okay.
Because did you see the movie? The
I did.
Golden Compass? Yeah.
Golden Compass. Yeah.
Yeah, so we talked about how John Oliver on HBO said HBO's pretty much effed right now because once Game of Thrones ends, they don't have anything else to watch. But they do. But you need
Westworld
something
in
to
like a
replace.
year and a half.
Yeah,
Yeah,
in a year and a
Westworld.
half. But you need something to replace that Game of Thrones audience. And his Dark Materials looks like a pretty good choice. I mean, it's a little more family friendly, depending on how they go with it, because the books are definitely a lot more family friendly. But we got the trailer for his Dark Materials with some great actors in it, and your polar bears again fighting. So, what'd you guys think of the little snippet that you saw for his Dark Materials? Super. What'd you see? What was? Tell us about
I
the trailer.
was intrigued. I'm not familiar at all with the world or the books, but it looked very intriguing. It gave me a very, almost like Narnia meets the Golden Compass kind of vibe. And
Very similar.
It looked good. I didn't quite know what to look for, obviously, because I wasn't familiar with anything. So I was just trying to like soak everything up. But it made me actually want to go out and kind of buy the books to dive into it a little bit more.
They were a best-selling novel series. So I mean, like I said, it was supposed to be a major film tentpole. I mean, the first movie, The Golden Compass, had, and this was what I see 10 years ago, maybe that movie came out.
About that, yeah.
So you had
a ton of money into that thing.
Ton of money. Nicole Kidman, I believe, was in it.
Yes, she was.
You had James Bond. Can't remember his name right now.
Daniel
Craig.
Daniel Craig was in it. It was some. They put some big names for that time into it, and then the visual effects were not cheap that they put into it. It was trying to set up something, and then it was just this cliffhanger because they were expecting it to be this big 3-film series.
And yeah, it definitely felt like the first movie of a trilogy, and then there was just nothing after it because they had to put so much money into it that even though it did okay at the box office, it was still considered a flop.
Yeah.
And you know, so I see in the chat they're going back, and you know, some of the comments you're seeing, like Rutu saying, HBO, they have to have their dragons. Polyfuse said there's good shows on HBO long before Game of Thrones, and there's good stuff on it now. Besides, here's the problem I run into with that is that HBO had to have several series before, very successful series. Sex and the City. You're also talking Entourage. Sopranos, yeah, I see what they're saying. However, I don't know. I think Game of Thrones has been is that unique series that has eclipsed all those. And we're talking about series that actually had movies, some of them couple of movies made, without having to have the movie at their disposal. I mean, Game of Thrones has eclipsed that idea. It's really put HBO in the spotlight. And me watching this trailer, yeah, it looks interesting. But like you said, it is more geared toward family friendly. They're not gonna keep a majority of their Game of Thrones people. They might get to the first episode and realize it's not what they're looking for, and there'll be a good percentage. Like I will tell you right now, the only reason why I got HBO was because I binged Game of Thrones to watch Game of Thrones, to be up with you guys and everything. Since I've had the HBO on my thing, I haven't really seen anything outside of some movies that I haven't seen, but I don't have an urge to keep my $15 subscription to get to HBO.
HBO does a fantastic job of getting great shows on their network, but because Game of Thrones is such a huge chunk of their subscribers and their viewership, that, and yes, you have Westworld and stuff, but like Polyfuse brought up, not all GOT fans only watch Game of Thrones. No, they don't. They do watch other stuff. But when you've got Amazon going, hey, we've got a Lord of the Rings series coming, it's going to be the biggest spent money on ever, fantasy-wise, and everybody's focusing, Netflix is going, we got Witcher coming, video game-based big fantasy epic. Everybody's scrounging right now to get that Game of Thrones fantasy fan over to their network while they can before the Game of Thrones prequel comes out that we'll see how good it is. And in that meantime, here's HBO going, hey, here's another series of books that were bestsellers that was a fantasy style format that we're going to bring. And while we're at it, here's some comic book themed series of Watchmen, and here's they're dipping their toes everywhere to keep all those subscribers.
Yeah, I see what they're saying though, because like Brewer 2 says, a lot of Game of Thrones watchers only got HBO for that series. I feel like they're not going to lose their entire clientele, of course. They're not going to lose all the people that subscribe, but it wouldn't surprise me if they lose a quarter of their subscribers.
Yeah, I don't think they're going to. I mean, it's like Polyfuse. I don't think he's getting well, I'm not saying that they'll die. HBO's not going to die from Game of Thrones.
No.
Absolutely not. There's too much good stuff on there. But there are people that, and we even talked about it before, where it's like, hey, do you have the HBO Now subscription? Yeah, I've got it for Game of Thrones. As soon as it's done, I'm done with it. There's a lot of people that they'll do the same thing. They'll subscribe now for Game of Thrones, wait for Westworld to come back, and then they'll resubscribe again just to watch Westworld, and then they'll they'll be gone again. It's gonna happen. So
yeah, that is the perils of having these subscription based without contract kind of thing, is that you have them, and then as soon as the show's done, you lose them. And they've got to find something to supplement losing Game of Thrones.
Yeah, that's why you have 3 potential prequels in the works. If it wasn't as big of a show, you wouldn't have a network going like, hey, let's make this many offshoots of this show for hopes of catching that same magic in a bottle. It's not Law and Order. I don't think it's going to work the same way, where you're not going to have a bunch of the shows.
God, I don't know. Maybe they can get iced tea.
Game of Thrones special magic unit. Oh god.
Nice.
All right, yeah. So
SVU is busy in Westeros. That's all I'm saying.
That was our 2 trailers that we checked out. I mean, so based off of his Dark Materials, is it something that you guys would check out off that trailer?
Yeah, I'll watch it.
Okay. Ken was like,
I didn't know that it was actually supposed to be following material for Golden Compass. So the whole time I was watching, I was like, "This feels very."
It's going to start over. It's going to start over again because it's not tied to that movie at all. Golden Compass was the first book in that series, so this is going to start over. So everything that happened in Golden Compass will happen probably in the first season of this series. So, yeah. So our next major story was it had a lot of sparkle behind it, and. We got our casting for who will be in the Matt Reeves Batman film officially, because this was put out there a while ago where people were like, hey, there's in talks of this happening, and we were like, yeah, I don't know, but Robert Pattinson is going to be Batman and if you don't know who Robert Pattinson is, he was Cedric Diggory. and he was also in Twilight.
Mention the one good one. All right.
Yes, he was in Twilight. He was the vampire, the sparkly vampire. So yeah, he's gonna be Batman. What do you guys think?
Vampire.
Nope.
I never want to hear anyone complain about Ben Affleck ever again being Batman, because you guys are going to be wishing for him to come back. I'm sorry, I can't see it.
I think we're going to be waiting for
it.
No.
If all you were basing
this is going to be a train wreck.
If all you were basing Robert Pattinson on is Twilight, you are doing yourself a
Oh
disservice.
no, he has some really good acting chops in
Yeah.
some shows. His smaller films.
He will be fine. He
Okay,
will be fine.
once
No.
again, his smaller films, he has some good acting chops, but I just don't get. Matt Reeves' Batman is supposed to be more of a detective coming up vibe type of thing, and that's what I don't get from Pattinson. That's the only problem I have, is I do not get the detective vibe from him. But I'm not writing him off.
Yeah.
If it's done well, he could be good.
Mm-hmm.
Uh,
Yeah,
Well,
he'll
yeah,
be
just-
fine. I'm excited.
When you see him, you just think
I'm
Twilight. It
excited
would have been better if they
because-
picked someone that was a little bit more less known, less recognizable to play Batman, and not someone that everybody remembers from Twilight.
okay, but now here's the thing though, and I have to kind of battle that though, because if you look at every Batman that's been out there that they've had in the major movies, they've all had a previous character or movie life that you recognize them from that. Okay, so you had Michael Keaton, you had George Clooney, Val Kilmer,
Yeah,
and
Keaton
then
especially was known as like a Keaton was a
Christian
comedy
Bale
guy
was
at the
not
time.
that known. Christian Bale
No,
was not a household name.
Christian Bale had American Psycho. He had a couple things before him where people knew
Been
him.
acting since he was like 8.
But
He
but
wasn't a
here,
household name though.
but it's one of those things where like, and then you have Ben Affleck. All these people that played Batman had acting experience, major, could fit the role exactly the way they want to do it. I mean, okay, if they see what they want out of this guy, fine. But I'm having a really hard time swallowing this, and it's only because of the fact that yeah, he's been in Twilight, and I have seen some of his other films. I just don't see him filling a Batman role. I don't know why. It's just not plugging with me at all. I have no interest right now to see this whatsoever.
If I saw Robert Pattinson walking down the street, I would not think, "Gosh, I'd be scared of that guy." And if he was in a big rubber suit, no.
Would you be scared of
Mm.
Adam West in a big rubber suit walking down the street?
Yeah,
No.
And
he's
it's
so
not
weird.
it's not that you still want to have someone in there that you might recognize from something, but maybe just someone that's just not like a typecasted type person, because besides the majority of people, besides Twilight, they probably haven't seen him really in anything else.
Yeah. So the two main attacks on Pattinson for this that I've heard are really the guy from Twilight, which of course the defense is like, no, he's done amazing acting jobs in other movies. So sure, I don't think he fits this particular casting, but okay. And then the other one that you hear a lot is, or the other defense you hear a lot is, well, you remember how we all thought they were friggin' crazy to cast Heath Ledger as Joker? Look how that turned out. I'm like, yeah. But then we extended that same courtesy to Jared Leto, and look how that turned out.
Yeah, and that's the thing
but
is we don't know.
Leto, I never would have said Jared Leto had the acting chops. I mean, I know he won an Oscar, whatever. Dallas Buyers Club, not the greatest movie ever. But that's an apple to oranges, because I mean, outside of Twilight, which was just horrible from start to finish for everyone involved, and there were some good people in Twilight. There were some decent actors that they snagged for that movie, but I mean, just some of the little indie flicks that he's done, I picture Jared Leto in those roles, and
Here's a problem for me.
No way.
Like I don't. I've seen the Twilight films. I'm not a Twilight fan or anything. My wife has all the films. But here's the thing for me. Even when I saw Twilight being made, I was like, "Oh, that's a terrible casting of even him in Twilight." So it's just. I just ever since he was Cedric Diggory, I haven't been a big fan of him as the hero type person. That's just it. He does great, like sulky and those more dramatic roles. He does great as him. I just don't see him in the hero role, and that's what I get from Batman. Even if it is a dark hero, it's still a hero. But while we were doing this is the interesting thing that I wanted to bring up was Collider released an article while we were waiting to go live, and it has been confirmed who the villains will be in the Batman series. And no, I'm not doing a joke. It's not going to be an abbed up werewolf or anything coming. But no, it's going to
It's gonna be a bunch of other Batmen, but they eat people.
no.
Oh wait, I know which Batman it is. It's gonna be the Scooby Doo one. That's which one it's gonna be.
No,
It's gonna be the Scooby Doo series.
They officially announced that the villains for this, they haven't done casting yet, but the villains for this episode, for this film, will be Catwoman and Penguin. So it's Batman Returns.
So it's Batman Returns.
That's kind of garbage.
It's already been done.
I want to see.
God.
I want to see if Michelle Pfeiffer can still fit in that suit.
I'm sure she
She
can. She was in
can.
Ant-Man. She did pretty good in that suit.
Yeah, Baruch says that they're going to announce Kristen Stewart as Catwoman. No, they broke up. So
Oh my
that won't
gosh,
happen.
no.
They broke up.
She's
They have nothing to do
also
with each other.
gay.
Now, if they cast Kristen Stewart, then I'm out.
K-Stu.
I'm out.
What?
Kristen Stewart shouldn't have been cast as her part in Twilight. They had Anna Kendrick there the whole time. Swap those two,
Yeah.
please.
Yeah.
What was the
No.
other dude's name from Twilight that did the vampire? I mean the werewolf. I could see him playing a good
Taylor
person.
Lautner. Yeah.
There you
Oh,
go.
no.
Taylor
Llama.
No, I would definitely
He
take
looks like a
Pattinson
llama.
over Lautner. I don't need my Batman to be like 4'5".
No, he's at least 4'11". Come on, scratching 5 feet. And he did have an action film that he actually.
He's too
Did all
busy
right with
doing
the action.
he's too busy doing really bad comedies for Netflix for Adam Sandler right now. That's
Yeah.
all he does now.
He's booked.
So
Yeah, I don't. Wow, they're gonna do Batman with Catwoman and Penguin, and oh my god, and yeah,
I got really excited for this
That
project when it was first announced with Ben Affleck for the factor that it was going to be a straight up detective story. It's the first time we were going to see Batman actually being a detective, which is that's the comic he came from, Detective Comics. He was a detective. I was really excited for that. And then Ben Affleck decided, I'm not going to direct it anymore. Now we're going to have Matt Reeves direct it. And oh, no, I'm not going to play Batman anymore. Now we're going to have Robert Pattinson as Batman. And now we're bringing in villains that we've already seen together in Batman Return. I'm getting more and more worried, I guess.
Infuriated.
So I still keep my hopes alive, but I'm getting less of that really cool noir detective story I thought we were going to get, and more of it's going to be something that we've already seen before, and it's just going to get really panned because, like Game of Thrones, people are expecting a certain thing, and we're not going to get that, and they're gonna just it's going to be a mess.
No, it feels more like they're about to cast Hilary Duff as Catwoman.
So
I hate to say it, but rest in peace, DC movies. We had Christopher
Are you
Reeve.
finally
And Michael
calling it?
Keaton. I think I'm calling the flat line on this one. After this one, I mean, the only thing that saves them is if they are able to
you know
continue
what?
a Wonder
People love
Woman or Jason Momoa Aquaman.
Well, that's the thing is Aquaman was fun. People love Shazam, and Wonder Woman has been. I'm. That's why I said I'm still very hopeful. We'll just have to wait and see. We'll find out after the product comes out, and we'll find. And you know what? If nothing else fails, we still got Joker coming out, which still looks fantastic. So
DC keeps on putting out a decent movie and then just screwing up everything. It's like they win $10,000 on a scratcher and then spend all that money on more scratchers.
But the scratch and sniff went away. They need more scratch and sniff. I know you're talking about other scratchers, but yeah.
And they would have got away with it if it wasn't for those darn kids.
We're not talking
It
about
was old man Smithers the whole time.
I mean, I know who Sarah. He's got one season left of his show, and then he's gone with it. So wait another year and throw in Jensen in as Batman.
I know. I think people approached him about it, but I think he wants to take like a year off.
Yeah.
Before he delves
actually,
into
I
any
would,
project, so.
Not a huge fan of Supernatural. I binged it, but I would still rather see Jensen Ackles in that outfit over
A lot of
Robert
people
Pattinson.
would. Jensen is and again, I do like Robert Pattinson as an actor, but I would take Jensen Ackles any day. I think Jensen is a far better actor than people give him credit for. If you see some of his other roles, I mean, yeah, he's been playing Dean Winchester for so long, but his level and ability, I think, out of all of them in that show, he is the best actor. And leaving Supernatural now gives him that opportunity to possibly explore some movie roles, possibly to get into some of those, dramas and get behind the camera and do some producing and directing. And I'm excited to see it because I think he's Oscar level worthy, if you give him the right role.
Yeah, and I think anybody can be if you give them the right role. So that's why I still keep my options open for if Robert Pattinson's going to be good as Batman or not. We'll find out when the product comes out.
Just wait and see. That's all you can do.
Before we seal it, though, didn't I read something earlier that the guy who played Beastman in the current X-Men and who did Tolkien, wasn't he still in consideration for the Batman role?
God, I would hope so, because he was my number one that I thought would be fantastic for Batman was Nick Holt. But no, they've confirmed. I
saw that earlier.
No, they've confirmed that Pattinson is got the role. So, God, I would love Nick Holt as I think Nick Holt would make a fantastic both sides. I know he's scrawny and skinny as well, but I
can see it. You know what? I keep on thinking for some reason. I know you said they're doing Penguin, but I want Ben Foster to be in there as a bad guy somewhere.
Somebody that has been really pushing to be Penguin. Can't remember his name right now, but he's a big Disney guy. The voice of the snowman from Let It Go.
Josh Gad?
Yeah, Josh Gad wants to play the Penguin.
I can see that.
I could see that. I actually wouldn't be.
That would totally work.
Bother me.
Oh yeah, okay.
So we still have one story left to talk about. It's not nerd news. It's somebody's got to talk about it. Talk about it. This is the stories that are so odd, so weird, so fantastic that somebody's got to talk about it. And this one came up, and it was like, nothing makes for a great resort stay like a run for the border. And announced officially,
more like a run for the bidet.
Taco Bell is going to have a resort, a full-on hotel resort out in Palm Springs, California. It's not going to be there forever. It's going to be a limited experience, but full-on getting your nails done, getting your hair done, special menu items, actual stay in the resort. So I'll give you some details on this, but I want to know what you guys think about a fast food restaurant having an actual resort.
Hey, well, they did survive the great earthquake, the San Andreas earthquake, and became the only chain in Demolition Man.
I've already done that. I already did that experience at San Diego Comic-Con last year. I did Taco Bell 2049.
So if I do go, I am going to tell you right now, I am going to book the Nacho Grande suite. Just because I think that's going to have everything you want and then some, and endless supply of Mountain Dew or whatever the heck that green drink.
It's like it's tropical something. Yeah,
that's in the swimming pool.
Or wait, do they have Mellow
Baja
Yellow?
Blast.
They might have had Mellow.
Baja Blast is the exclusive to them. But so here's some of the things from check-in to check-out. The Bell is the name of the hotel. The Bell. Hold on.
Yeah,
the Bell.
No.
It sounds like they could right afterwards do a Saved by the Bell theme resort.
Yeah.
They already had the Max pop up as
they did have the pop up. Yeah, the Bell, a Taco Bell hotel and resort, reimagines what a hotel stay can be, unveiling a destination inspired by tacos and fueled by fans. Everything from guest rooms to breakfast and poolside cocktails will be infused with a Taco Bell twist. I don't know if I want a Taco Bell twist inside my alcohol.
I don't want a fire sauce pillowcase either.
Making this the flavor-filled getaway of 2019.
You might as well twist your drinks.
Does that mean they're going to put cinnamon twists inside your actual drinks? Like, hey, it's a Taco Bell twist.
The fake churros.
Hey, now people forget those first came out when the Keaton Batman movie came out in '89. Yes, trivia.
Nice.
Gotta love it.
I just, regardless of what the cost of staying there is, I would pay that same amount just to stay at a normal hotel and get all the Crunchwrap Supremes I want.
Well, but think of it. Your pillows are going to double as hot sauce packets.
That's what I'm saying. I don't want like hot sauce.
They're gonna look like hot sauce packets. Is what's gonna be the design for them. I guarantee that.
And but every pillowcase is gonna have a different little message.
Exactly. To go along with it, the hotel and resort will also reportedly feature a not to miss gift shop, which will offer exclusive apparel. There will also be an on-site salon, which will offer Taco Bell-inspired nail art and hairstyle options. I really want to know what Taco Bell-inspired hairstyle options are.
Right?
Oh my gosh!
Give me
Can
the
I get
chalupa.
a hot salsa face scrub, please? That would be wonderful.
Oh, I just broke out into sweat just thinking about that.
And then what? You get a queso mud bath?
All refried. It's all refried.
And Taco Bell's been spending a lot of money recently on those commercials, and now this. It's like the least popular fast food place, because every time I pass by a Taco Bell, like, nobody's
But it's
there.
not. There's so much stuff that they do in terms of like media presence that they have these pop-ups. There was this was the funniest thing. So, like I said, I did the experience at San Diego Comic-Con for the Taco Bell 2049. And we're standing in line because it was the experience that everybody wanted to do at Comic-Con this year. So we're standing in line for 5 hours outside. We're standing there and people keep coming up going, what are you standing? And because it says Taco Bell on the restaurant that we're standing in line for. And they're like, "Are you standing in line for Taco Bell?" And we're like, "Yeah." And they're like, "What the?" Like, so perplexed.
Like, man, there's one like 3 blocks that way.
And we're like, "You don't understand. This is not. It's Taco Bell 2049. Like, what the hell's that? It's a 4-star restaurant. It is a full course meal. It is a piano player. It is. You can see the video for this over on Geek Guidepost. I put it up on the YouTube channel. You can see this experience. So, they go all out with this stuff. Polyfuse says that they have a slogan for the hotel. It'll be the shits. And it'll include 4-ply and dude wipes.
Yeah, that's got to be like the gift, the gift shop stuff. 4-ply toilet paper with aloe vera.
And Ruru2 brings
industrial strength toilet plungers.
Ruru2 also brings up that if Hello Kitty can have a hotel, Taco Bell can too. And it's just embracing a fan thing. Now, I already am on the email list, so I will let you guys know if I get a stay in here, because in June is when the reservations come about, and Palm Springs is only 4 hours from here. So if I can, in August is when it opens, I will be going and staying at Taco Bell and letting you guys know what the experience is like. Just like somebody's got to talk about it, we try and live it a little bit. So Mind Freak from last week, somebody's got to talk about it, did order Liquid Death, and it is at his home, and he was drinking it last night on the Smack Talk cast. So, and he said it's actually a pretty good water. So
I just want to throw one thing out there. I definitely want to see the video, because their comforters, are going to be wrappers, so you could wrap yourself in a little burrito, put your little hot sauce back. I want the video of that, sir.
I will do so much. If I get to go stay here, I will do so much video just because of all the stuff that you can do.
You know what? I might just put myself on I might put myself on the email list too. What the F?
Why not? I mean,
it's driving distance.
It's not going to be. It's going to be a resort, so it's not going to be free. I don't think it's going to be free. I think it's going to be you're staying overnight. They are having people take care of you and stuff, and so they are going to charge hotel fees, I'm sure. So.
I mean, if you think about it, if you go there, it's Taco Bell inspired. How many people could say they've actually stayed at a 4-star resort over a weekend and lost 30 pounds? Seriously. I'm ready. I'm ready to get swole and svelte, man. Let's do this.
Well, let's do this. Let's end this cast, because that's all we got to talk about today. There was a nerd fight that ended, and all I got to say is who is Drax, because he came in first. I don't know how. I don't know. I have no idea. So, mainly because nobody voted.
That was the irony vote.
It's because nobody voted. That's why.
Yeah.
But we're not going to talk about that, because there was only a few votes that were really done on it. We had fun with it, but yeah. Let's finish off and talk about where we can follow everybody. I'm going to start with Super, because I think her phone's dying on her, if she's even still there. Is she there?
Here.
Yeah. Tell us where everybody can follow you, Super.
All right, you can follow me on Twitter at SuperHoovianNut, and then on Instagram at SuperHoovianFreak. And right now, it's a lot of tributes to The Big Bang Theory, passing on all the cast and all that stuff. But it's always a good time.
Nice. What about you, IC Zoro? Where can people follow you?
At IC Zoro on Twitter, Instagram, PlayStation Network.
And Masonic Vader.
You could follow me to the Taco Bell Hotel. Yeah. Masonic Vader on Twitter, Masonic Vader 71 on the PlayStation Network.
Taco Bell Motel, I think would be better.
There actually is a hashtag for Taco Bell Hotel.
Vibrates and loose cheese falls out the side.
Oh god. Oh god. Nick. Where can people follow you?
Raiders 0314, Twitter and PlayStation Network.
Nice. And you can follow us on Twitter at Malice Corp or at All Nerd Podcast. Or if you really want to interact with us, head on over to Facebook, facebook.com/groups/All Things Nerd Podcast. Drop any interesting stories you find, any funny gifs, any funny memes over there. Just come be a part of the nerd hangout that we have on Facebook. If you guys want to follow me, head on over to Twitter at Mest_Malice Corp or on Instagram at Mest5150. And once again, thank you so much for supporting us. Thank you so much for listening. Thank you so much for being here. We will see you next Friday, and you keep nerding on.
Peace.
Stay nerdy.
Carry on.